Internet searches for local services make up the highest volume of searches today. As a private practice, if you're not showing up in the Google 3-pack, which are the 3 businesses that pop up next to the Google map at the top of local search results, then you're losing a massive volume of patients to your competitors. All right. My name is Amar Chauhan, founder of Dr. Grow. For nearly 20 years, we've helped over 1,800 doctors take back control of their time, finances, and the freedom to practice on their own terms independently. And today with AI and automations, we do this with our R6 Practice Growth Engine, an all-in-one marketing system that powers patient growth on autopilot at a fraction of the cost of traditional marketing agencies. All right, with that intro, here's what we're going to cover in today's presentation. What is Google 3-pack? How do I rank locally on Google? And how to optimize your web presence to increase the likelihood of showing in the Google 3-pack. All right. So the 3-pack is how Google displays the top 3 local search results adjacent to its map display. It references the searcher's location to make the search results more relevant to the searcher. So for example, if a searcher types in primary care doctor near me, Google 3-pack would display 3 primary care practices near the searcher's current location. All right, now, the Google 3-pack has undergone several major updates over time. Back in 2015, the Google 7-pack was converted into the 3-pack. And this update also placed more of an emphasis on backlinks. So this meant the highest ranking local practices in the 3-pack often had the most number of high authority websites linking back to them. Okay. Another major update was how information got displayed in the searches, making it easier for mobile users to navigate the 3-pack while sharing details like address and practice hours instead of only just showing the phone numbers. And then in 2021, the 3-pack had another major update. Google described it as a rebalancing of the 3 major ranking criteria for the 3-pack results, which are proximity, relevance, and prominence. And the impact on the 3-pack results made it very clear the rebalancing placed more of an emphasis on proximity as a ranking factor. And this update also integrated local search results within the Google map itself. So now you could actually see the search results on the map display. So now that you know a bit about how the 3-pack came to be, the question for you to ask is, how can you rank your practice in the 3-pack? Right? So firstly, it's critical that you understand that you cannot globally optimize the Google 3-pack because practices that appear on the 3-pack are location dependent. In other words, the local SEO results change depending on the searcher's location. That said, you can optimize your web presence to increase your chances of appearing in the 3-pack. This optimization is called local SEO, local search engine optimization. And as a method for patient attraction, local SEO can be an extremely fast, powerful, low-cost way to drive an unlimited number of new patient leads to your practice. Okay? So with that, let's dive into some local SEO tactics to get you ranking on the Google 3-pack. Remember, the 3 keys to displaying in the 3-pack are proximity to the searcher, relevance to the search, and prominence of your practice's online presence. All right. So the first thing you need to do is to make sure your Google business profile is completely filled in and up to date. I cannot emphasize this enough. This is the easiest factor for you to fully control, and it's weighted heavily for your practice's ranking on the 3-pack, okay? So if you take nothing else from this presentation, go make sure to claim, verify, complete, and regularly update your Google business profile. If you're unsure how, visit drgrow.com, go to the free resources section, and download the Google Business Profile Guide, where you'll learn how to create and optimize your practice's profile. Part of keeping your profile updated includes creating ongoing posts for your Google Business Profile, just like you do on Facebook. And the best type of posts for private practices are educational posts that add value to your patients' lives. So roughly 80% of your posts on Google Business Profile, as well as on all your social media pages actually, should focus on patient-centered education. And only about 20% should focus on promotional content about your practice. Okay? Now, once you have your Google Business Profile, you must capture and generate patient reviews on it. Receiving a high quantity of high quality, recent, frequent, positive reviews can dramatically boost your visibility on the 3-pack. Okay? Your patient reviews serve both as a key ranking factor for your prominence, and your Google reviews and star ratings will be plainly visible to searchers in the 3-pack. In fact, this is your first impression before a searcher even finds your website. So your Google star rating literally immediately defines your practice's attractiveness to a new potential patient lead. Okay? So, for example, if I see Dr. A has 4.9 star rating and 786 reviews versus Dr. B, who has a 3.4 star rating and 23 reviews, who do you think I'm going to go with? All other things being equal, obviously, I'm going to go with Dr. A. In fact, today more than ever, your online reviews can even overpower direct referrals from your patients' other doctors or their insurance companies. So even if Dr. B in the last example had a tight network of referring doctors, Dr. A will still gain a number of those patients because patients are more skeptical than ever before. The trust index in America is at an all-time low in over 40 years. So they'll take the word of another patient's lived experience that they find online, even above a medical professional or their own insurance. Okay? So I'm not saying that this is always going to be the case. You absolutely must go out there and create strong referral relationships in person. Otherwise, your practice will fail. Okay? So I want to be very clear about that. Okay? But this dominance of the weighted importance of online reviews, testimonials, and other forms of social proof is a very powerful phenomenon. And so I can't emphasize enough how important your Google reviews are for the stability, growth, and longevity of your practice. All right? Now let's move on. The next thing you must do to rank in the 3-pack is to make sure your practice's listings in online directories across the internet are accurate and consistent. This includes your practice's name, address, and phone number. We call this NAP, name, address, phone number, as well as other factors like your practice's description, services offered, office hours, and so on. Okay? So apart from your Google Business Profile, which we already discussed, that's the key, you must do it. Other prominent general directories include Yahoo, Bing, Apple Maps, Yellow Pages Online, Foursquare, Merchant Circle, Yelp, Manta, and hundreds of other major directories, okay? And healthcare industry specific directories include HealthGrades, Vitals, RateMDs, WebMD, ZocDoc, and so on, okay? So you have to be present in these directories and keep them up to date to signal to search algorithms and to searching patients that your practice is indeed a legit business and not just some fly-by-night scam entity, because there's a lot of those today. Okay, the next thing you can do to boost your 3-pack visibility is to cultivate locally relevant links that link back to your website. We talked about this earlier. These are called backlinks. And while they don't hold the same disproportionate weight they once did, they are still a major ranking factor. There are a number of ways to get reputable backlinks, okay? So for example, you could offer to write a guest post for blogs of local healthcare facilities, fitness facilities, grocery and nutrition stores, and so on. You might sponsor a prominent local nonprofit or create a scholarship for students attending local colleges in the field of medicine, or simply join your local chamber of commerce. These are just some possible ways to gain more backlinks. All right. And another way to rank on the Google 3-pack is to build a strong presence on social media. While not a direct path to ranking higher, when you gain followers on social media, you gain greater search volume in Google as people begin to look you up. The increased volume of traffic signals to Google that you are, in fact, a sought-after entity with loyal followers. Therefore, Google will favor displaying your listing in the 3-pack above your nearby competitors. All right, the last key tip to getting ranked in the Google 3-pack is to improve the user experience on your website, because Google favors better experiences. This means clear navigation, easy to read text, prominent call to action buttons like book an appointment, and very importantly, total mobile responsiveness of your website. Google has been begging websites to be mobile optimized since 2015. So this is an absolute must if you want to rank. There's just too many practices that are failing at this, okay? Now, on the one hand, many practices don't invest enough in the creation of their website. And so its design and development is so unoptimized that Google will never rank their sites. And searchers will believe that the practice is substandard because they will judge a book by its cover. On the other hand, some practices pour a ton of money into their websites, making them absolutely pixel perfect, beautiful. But 9 times out of 10, beautiful sites become extremely distracting and difficult to navigate. And this destroys their rankability as well as their ability to convert searchers into actual patients. So instead of making a shabby first impression on the one hand, or making a fancy brochure that doesn't do its job on the other, the best healthcare practice websites are clear, use well-integrated color palettes and font styles, are minimalist in design, yet optimized to fit all screens, and they speak to the patient to convert them in an easy-to-navigate pathway. Okay? All right, so that's 7 key tactics for you to implement so that your practice appears in the Google 3-pack. The 3-pack attracts attention to your practice brand and encourages patients to engage with you. So keep these tactics in mind when you're crafting your web presence strategy to maximize your chances of appearing in the Google 3-pack. All right. And if you don't have time to implement these ideas and need assistance with your practice's marketing, book a free call with us and we can mutually explore what marketing strategies make the most sense for your practice. No pushy sales, no weird obligations, just a pure strategy session for you. All right. You can also email us at success@doctogrow.com to book a call and learn more.